Hill, where House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is holding a press conference with colleagues about the For the People Act, an anti-corruption measure. Let's listen in.
Sarbanes, over the years, we developed an initiative that gathered steam across the country. 100 candidates across the country signed a letter saying they wanted H.R. 1 to be one of the first orders of business of this new Congress. Thank you, John Sarbanes. We're joined by Jerry Nadler, the chair of the Judiciary Committee you'll be hearing from, Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren, chair of House Administration Committee, Congressman Elijah Cummings from Oversight and Reform, John Sarbanes, I acknowledge, the chair of the Democracy Reform Task Force, Congressman John Lewis, our hero on all subjects, and Congressman David Price, who's been a champion on this for decades, and Congresswoman Veronica Escobar, member of the freshman class, who will represent the views of that very transformative, diverse, beautiful, energetic freshman class that is energizing the Congress. So yesterday we made history, again, swearing in this transformative freshman class. When they took the oath, they made a difference. Today, guided by our new members and the American people that they represent, that we all represent, we are introducing H.R. 1 to hold legislation to clean up corruption and restore integrity to government. We put power back into the hands of the people. What's really important about this, because in our For the People agenda, we talked about lowering health care costs by lowering prescription drug prices and protecting people with pre-existing conditions. We talked about lowering health care costs, increasing paychecks by building the green infrastructure of America from sea to shining sea. And we gave people confidence that this could happen in a way that was in the people's interest, not the special interest, because of H.R. 1. It's important for what it does. It's important for the confidence it gives people that their voices and their concerns are heard. So that restoring the people's faith in government works is really our agenda. We're thrilled that so many champions of democracy are here in this room representing organizations who fought this fight for such a long time. And again, the bill, you'll hear more about it, but it has many features. One of them is about setting us up for the Voting Rights Act, which will not be a part of the first as we go forward, because we have to build the constitutional record to do that. But we will do that in a short order, and then we'll have the complete H.R. 1 passed by the House of Representatives with the knowledge, transparency that the American people will know that this is an option that the House has given the Senate of the United States and the President of the United States to take action in support of the American people, for the people. With that, now I'm very pleased to yield to the chair of our task force, our champion on integrity in government, Congressman John Sarbanes.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you, Speaker Pelosi. Thank you for your leadership and your commitment to this agenda of giving the American people their voice back. Last year, when candidates were out campaigning to their constituents, new candidates, and candidates were running for re-election, we heard loud and clear from the American people that they feel left out and locked out too often from their own democracy, that they want us to fight the culture of corruption, they want us to clean up Washington, fix the system, and give them their voice back. They want to be able to get to the ballot box without having to run an obstacle course. They want it to be easy, not hard, to register and vote in America. And H.R. 1 will address that concern. They want to make sure that when people come to Washington to serve, whether it's in the legislative branch or the executive branch or as a member of the judiciary, they behave themselves, they abide by ethics, they have integrity, that they're open and transparent. So H.R. 1 addresses ethical responsibility. And finally, they kept saying to us, over and over and over again. Don't get tangled up in the money. We don't want special interests and people who write big checks to govern our democracy, to determine what the legislative calendar is going to look like. We want the people's priorities to be reflected. So we have to fight back against special interests and big money, and H.R. 1 does that. We carried a message of reform, of fighting corruption, of cleaning up Washington. We made a promise to the American people. The new members who've come made that promise and made it clear they wanted this to be the first order of business. So H.R. 1 is delivering on that promise back to the American people and telling them, in return for you giving us the gavel, we are going to do everything we can every single day to give you your democracy back and make sure that this truly is a government of, by, and for the people. So thank you for being here today. And it's my privilege, someone who's been a fighter for democracy, he talks about fighting for the soul of our democracy every single day, the new chairman of the Oversight and Government Reform Committee, Elijah Cummings. Elijah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, John. John, I want to thank you for putting your blood, sweat, and tears in this effort. You have been simply spectacular. I want to thank Speaker Pelosi, Majority Leader Hoyer, and for your leadership with regard to this historic package. The midterm elections were monumental and indeed historic. The American people gave Congress a mandate to finally start conducting credible oversight and enacting reforms. Over the last 2 years, President Trump set the tone from the top in his administration that behaving ethically and complying with the law is optional. Ladies and gentlemen, I've stopped by here to simply say we're better than that. We're better than that. It cannot be optional. We have seen gross abuses from agency heads such as former EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt and former Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke. This is why we are introducing the For the People Act. This bill includes a number of reforms that will strengthen our accountability for the executive branch officials, including the President. Here is what we are focusing on in our Oversight Committee, requiring the President to disclose his financial interests as soon as he takes office or she takes office, prohibiting executive branch officials from lobbying their own agencies for 2 years after they leave, prohibiting procurement officers from going to work for companies they awarded contracts to for at least 2 years after they leave, strengthening the government's ethics watchdog, the Office of Government Ethics, and making it more independent, making any waivers from ethics rules available to the American people. Finally, requiring senior government officials to disclose political contributions they received before joining the government. I'm anxiously looking forward to the hearings on H.R. 1, and now it gives me great honor and great privilege to introduce my great colleague and just a fighter for all of these kinds of issues, the distinguished chairman, newly minted chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Jerry Nadler.
Thank you very much. Let me begin by thanking John Sarbanes for his leadership role over a long period of time in pulling together this democracy agenda and gathering support for it, and the new leadership of the House, Speaker Pelosi and Majority Leader Hoyer, who have been great supporters and ralliers for this kind of agenda for a long time. I am proud to be joining my colleagues today to unveil H.R. 1, legislation to restore our democracy and deliver for the American people. The overwhelming influence of money and special interests is a cancer in our democracy that must be removed. Otherwise, we risk evolving into an oligarchy, like so many other republics before us. Indeed, many Americans already believe that their elected leaders do not care about them, and that office holders care only about raising money and prioritizing the interests of the moneyed class. They believe that their participation, their voices, cannot count against the power of big money, and recent experience shows they are often right. For example, most Americans, including most gun owners, support reasonable firearms regulation. Heartbreakingly, we continue to hear about mass shootings, yet after each tragedy, the Republican-controlled Congress refused to act. Even without such high-profile incidents, it remains true that more than 33,000 Americans lose their lives to gun violence every year, and the gun-related murder rate in the United States is 25 times higher than in 22 other comparably high-income countries. Despite near-universal support from the American public, the Republican Congress did not even have a hearing on the issue, much less pass legislation, because of disproportionate political influence of the National Rifle Association and the big givers associated with it. In a similar vein, Americans overwhelmingly support lowering prescription drug prices, yet the pharmaceutical industry and its army of lobbyists have thus far successfully managed to stifle any real reform. Sadly, this pattern repeats itself in policy area after policy area, from gutting protections that ensure clean air and clean water to those that ensure the integrity of our financial system. The very real danger now is that special interests will be able to use vast sums of concentrated wealth to further dictate policy outcomes at odds with the American people's wishes. Without H.R. 1, our democracy will find itself more and more at the mercy of large moneyed interests. If we do not pass this critical legislation, the history books may eventually say that, like the Roman Republic, the United States had a good 200 to 250-year run of democracy and then degenerated into an oligarchy like all the rest. We must not let that happen. We must pass this legislation so that government of the people remains of the people. And now I'm proud to introduce one of the people who has perhaps had the greatest role in making sure that government is of, by, and for the people in the last century. All
right, that was a press conference. You see, started off with the newly reinstalled Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and a few other speakers there, but the gist of which being, Mr. President, welcome to your future. They are talking about investigations. They're talking about financial records. They, without missing a beat from being sworn in, they are going after this administration.
Yeah. And so this is to outline sort of their agenda to attack corruption, but they certainly talked about issues concerning the president, talking about his financial investments and his financial interests, but also beyond that. And there was a lot of talk about limiting the influence of lobbyists and the money that lobbyists bring into Washington.
Yeah. Draining the swamp.
Yeah.
All right. 5 children and 2 adults are dead after a fiery crash on a highway in Florida. Multiple people were also hurt. Yesterday afternoon, a tractor trailer and a passenger vehicle collided in the northbound lane of the highway, continued to roll over a guardrail and hit another tractor trailer and passenger vehicle.
Another vehicle also crossed into the area of the crash. The crash dumped 50 gallons of diesel fuel onto the highway. Some southbound lanes remain closed this morning. So we're going to take a quick break now, but we've got a lot of news ahead. In about 10 minutes or so, the president is due to meet again with congressional leaders at the White House.
You're streaming CBSN, CBS News, always on.